Alrighty then, Hillbilly Blueballs did a live stream last night for about 6 hours, 6 hours and 6 minutes. And what he's allowed us to do is basically run a parallel to how he's doing it compared to how we're doing it. And what we're doing is taking a freeze frame every 7 minutes. We first had it on 15 and it was too much. Then we dropped it to 10 and we felt that that was a little bit too high. We dropped it to 7 to see, because we think that 7 gives us enough information, but also not that much that it creates hours and hours and hours of footage. In this case, 6 hours and 6 minutes worth of footage. You don't need to sit through 6 hours and 6 minutes to see what's going on. This is a really, really good example of how accurate and how similar the two items are. Now, our position is that our equipment is identical in the sense that it behaves the same way that Hillbilly Blueballs is. So whether that's a good thing or a bad thing remains to be seen. Hillbilly Blueballs' position is that his detecting equipment is so far superior to ours because basically he's got a bigger penis than us. Now, it doesn't really matter how big your penis is. What matters is, are you getting the qualitative results that you should be getting, and can we compare and contrast? What I'm about to show you is a video that has been created overnight by us, and coincidentally, Hillbilly Blueballs was also doing a live stream at the same time, period. Not the same time synchronized, because obviously there's a time zone difference of what, 5, 6, 7 hours, depending on where he is in the States. But at the same time of the day relative to him. So we were doing an overnight stream, he was also doing an overnight stream. But because we do it every 7 minutes, I've had to condense his 6-hour hangout, 6-hour live stream into segments of every 7 minutes. And then I can overlay them, and I can put his at the same time period as what ours is, showing every 7 minutes. And the results are really interesting. So Hillbilly Blueballs claims that his setup is fantastic and that ours is shit. Our claim is that we can't get ours to work. He's changed his wire recently because he's getting oscillations or drift or whatever word he uses to describe the movement. He's getting the same movement that we're getting, and he's changed his wire because he believes it's going to fix the problem. We don't know what his perception is. It's difficult to have any conversation with the guy. But let's get straight into the video that is being cross-referenced. Now, what you can see in this video, let's start it from the very beginning. What you can see in this video, let's just get this playing. And you can see that we're at 12:45 in the afternoon. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Nathan's not started yet. It's 1:20. It's coming up to 1:40. It's coming up to 2 o'clock now. Nathan Oakley goes live in the UK at this time. And at the moment, obviously, you can see that ours is lovely and stationary. I've got this positioned in the right size and in the right portion of the screen so that we can overlay Hillbilly's. Now, Hillbilly does his test between around about midnight to about 6 in the morning. Well, we're getting up to around about the same time period now. It's only 4 in the afternoon, but ultimately, Nathan's finished, the after show's finished, we're getting ready for tea time. Again, there's no movement, it's nice and controlled. Look at the temperature. It's hovering around 6 to 7. It's right on the threshold between 6 and 7. Obviously, yesterday we had a weird weather setup because it went cold yesterday. Started snowing, like blustery showers of snow, and I'm assuming this was quite widespread over the country. And it was quite cold, very cold. The temperatures dropped overnight to freezing. What I want to show you is the effect of the temperature drop relative to the movement, and it causes nothing. So with temperature dropping changes, we get no movement. Now, Hillbilly says that he can be in the room because he's not getting sudden temperature drops. Well, we are getting the sudden temperature drops, but it's causing no effect. Now we can see the temperature dropping. It's getting 9:30. It's getting up towards 10 o'clock. We've dropped from 6 to 7 down to 4. And now we're going to drop a little bit more as we get towards midnight. And bear in mind, Hillbilly's about to start his test. We're down to 3. Still stable though. Nothing's happening. Now, Hillbilly's he's setting up his camera about now. It's getting towards midnight, and now you're going to see Hillbilly's test start. This is the beginning of his testing his. Now, you've got to kind of watch for what's happening here. He makes a claim in the beginning of his video that his is going to oscillate between the 2 circles, and we'll see that that claim doesn't materialize. It goes wildly off. But notice that his is now moving, and you can see that ours is also moving, and they are pretty much synchronized as best as I can get. His is wandering left to right, so is ours, at exactly the same time at 7-minute intervals. So this gives you the perspective that is what we need. Ours is behaving exactly the same way that his is behaving. The only difference is we're at some other part of the world. Now you can see that as his is moving forwards and backwards, so is ours. And it's minuscule. It's absolutely minuscule. You can't see his lead walls moving because they're inside the case, but you can see ours. Now as we get towards the end of his clip at Hillbillies, we can see that his now veers wondrously off. Don't know why, but it's beyond the temperature parameters of, or the parameters of his prediction that he made at the start. But ours is still doing that oscillating, wandering thing, but ours continues because we're only doing it overnight. We're not live streaming, we're not continuously recording, we're just taking freeze frames every 7 minutes. And you can see that it's fluctuating minusculely, just like Hillbillies is. Now, if you're going to argue that there is a scale difference here, then that's fine, but you're trying to make it quantitative. We're demonstrating the qualitative point that the wandering is minuscule. Now notice the position of the weights. The weights are in that position, they're having no effect. We could have put the weights in any orientation that we wanted. It's had literally no effect. So if Hillbilly Blue Balls is going to claim how wonderful his equipment is, he has to accept that ours is also wonderfully fantastic too. Because we're getting the same little tiny wandering. Now, we don't know why we're getting it, and at the exact same time of the day, he's getting it as well. Maybe it's something to do with Earth, maybe it's ethereal, who knows, but we can't control it. But neither can he. That's why he's changing his wire. Well, we've tried doing that too. We've changed wires, we've changed, I don't know, leaves on the track, different types of snow, you name it, we've tried it. But we're getting the wandering that he's getting. So if Hillbilly Blue Balls is going to claim that his is fantastic, he's got to accept that ours is the same. If he's going to claim that his is insufficient, he's got to accept that ours is the same. Our position is that ours is insufficient. It's picking up movement, something's causing it to move, and we don't know what it is. And that's with torsion and a fixed rotation point at the top. We've set it up to match his. So what's going on? We can't control it. He clearly can't control it either. It's wandering. So is that a reliable test? No. Is it something that we've done wrong? No, because Hillbilly's getting it too. We're at identical points. So what can we conclude from this test? Well, for some reason, temperature cooling didn't cause anything, because our temperature dropped significantly whilst his was being maintained. But what we can say is that not only did temperature not do anything, the dropping of temperature didn't do anything. We can also say that when Hillbilly's not in the room, he doesn't disturb it. So I look forward to seeing you manipulate your independent variable, mass, and making it move, because we can do that too. We've got skateboards that we can pull on a piece of string and we can make it work in exactly the same way that Cavendish did. We can pull it, it's fine. But we know that it's not going to do anything. But I look forward to seeing your results, Hillbilly. Because if we can do a little bit of collaboration, you'll realise that this test doesn't work. The question is, will you be honest enough to admit it? Watch this space and I'm sure we'll be able to do more collaborations indirectly with Hillbilly Blue Balls as he reveals more information, because we're running side by side with you, buddy. And it ain't going too well for you, because we can't get it to work. But if you think that your test is fantastic and we say it's not working, well, what does that do for you? Have a really great day.